but we're talking about grilling right now. Okay?
Cousin Scooby. Scooby.
What's up, School?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Not much. Good
What's up?
morning.
Good morning. So I just wanted to do a quick shout out. Tomorrow's my daughter's 21st birthday.
Hey.
Hey, you got a 21-year-old? God
Yeah, and a 24-year-old son.
Oh, School, way to lay it down.
Woo.
Yeah. But I wanted to do my crazy fireworks story this morning for you guys. So in 2016, me and my brother, we bought one of those, a couple of those mortars that come prepackaged in the box that shoot like 25 off at a time.
Yeah.
And my brother lit it upside down. So
What?
the first one that shot out launched the box in the air. The second and third one that shot out shot across the yard, and then everybody started running. It looked like World War III. We had mortars shooting all over the yard, across the neighbor's yard, hit my uncle in the chest, and made it look like he got hit with a bomb. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
That's because he did.
25 of them just going everywhere.
Goodness gracious.
And those things get powerful, too, man. Goodness. Ron got
it
popped.
was just flipping in the air and shooting mortars. Flipping in the air and shooting mortars.
Ron got popped in the knee last year, and we were safe.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
they bounced off the ground. That's a wrap. I couldn't imagine lighting one on fire upside down. That's got to suck. I'd be
it
running
was
for my
crazy.
life.
You got to be careful
Y'all
out there,
have a great
Scoob.
4th of
Be careful,
July,
Scoop.
You
and,
too.
I'm cooking on the grill tomorrow myself. Y'all have a great weekend.
You
It
too,
is.
Scoop.
So I'm looking on the screen. Bobby Marks, top 5 destinations for Durant. I've interviewed Bobby Marks before. He used to be in the Nets front office. Raptors, Pelicans, Suns, Celtics, Heat. Celtics are being mentioned here and there. Miami's being mentioned. Phoenix, those are the two that he had mentioned. Pelicans to put him next to Zion for 20 games before Zion's hurt again.
He ain't going to New Orleans.
I don't think so.
He's not going to Memphis either.
I don't think so.
I don't see him
Toronto
going to
was number
Toronto.
one. I don't see that either.
Yeah, he ain't going to Toronto.
But again,
either.
here's the thing. The Nets don't have to accommodate him, but he's just going to make it miserable for him if they don't.
Well, they already said they're working with his team to help him find the next destination that's good for him and good for them
you
too.
got
So,
you got to love how much they have wagered
yeah.
to get nothing out of it, and then to have him appreciate that contract extension. I'm still leaving a year after the fact. Good Lord. DeJesus, line one. DeJesus, what's up?
All right, what's up, Gellert? How y'all doing?
We're
Good.
good, man. Stay cool out there today.
Oh, yeah, I am. Hey, so I caught about my M80 flushing it down the toilet earlier this week. So this one happened when I lived in Memphis a couple years. You know them boy transcripts hanging right down there. So we out in the street having a bottle rocket / Roman candle war. We, shooting at each other, running down the street. One of the guys gets hit in the neck, one of my homies, and so we go in the house, and that man brings a mortar in the house.
No.
Yeah, so he's like, we're in the room, and we're like, bet you won't light it up. So he lights it up, opens the door, throws it in the room with me and my homie, and then he holds the door. We're trying to get out. You got about 15 seconds for that thing go off, and he was not letting us out of the room, so he ducks behind the bed. I jump in the closet. As soon as I jump in the closet, that thing goes off. And you're talking about being in the war zone. I mean, that thing goes off. There's a solid wood dresser. That thing got burnt. The bed got burnt. I mean, it was awesome. It was crazy. It was scary, but man, that crap was crazy. Talk about being in the middle of a fireworks show. I was literally inside of one. That was awesome.
Everybody got these degenerate friends. Like what?
No, that's right.
What makes you okay? You hit me in the neck with a Roman candle. Now I'm gonna light the whole house on fire.
I mean, I got hit in the chest with a Roman
You
candle
did?
when I was like 12.
Oh my! Jay, you got to be more clever than that. Come on, dog.
What do you mean?
Like you got to be more shifty.
Look, I'm
Jay.
standing next to friends. I'm looking out to where the fireworks are going. Don't realize they have pivoted, and there's a situation happening. Roman candles were banned in my state for a little while. I think
Were they
North
really?
Carolina for
It's
a while.
probably because of
around
that.
stuff like that. Yeah, of course that's
Yeah.
why.
That's why, Jay. To hear these cops and firefighters though that are doing the same degenerate stuff that we're doing, That makes me proud right there. I'll be honest with you, Jay.
Like I said, I've told potato gun stories earlier this week, too. Chris in Nashville. Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
So you just said potato gun.
Yep.
We shot fireworks at each other, of course, but something that I thought was a lot more fun and I guess a little bit safer because nobody ever got hurt was we would have little John boats and we'd go out onto the lake and get about a quarter or maybe a little bit more, maybe a half mile away from each other, and we'd play Battleship and launch potatoes at each other. We'd go out there with a couple bags of potatoes. And nobody ever got hit, but the boat got hit a few times. Somebody ended up in the water, but it was always a good time playing Battleship.
I don't know if that's a great thing. I don't know if that's, hey, you know what? If you survive, we have a great story to tell you. And Chris, that was actually pretty cool right there. I never, these are potatoes coming out of a gun, Jay, like with a whole bunch of velocity.
Yeah, it's not coming out of a gun. You go.
It's a pump.
We bought
basically.
this PVC pipe. You go to Lowe's, you get PVC pipe. We were talking about it. I'm not sure where it came from, but I used to buy Aquanet hairspray because that's what you use to set it up. And stuff. We did different things. We did those and dry ice bombs. Now, that was mean. Dry ice bombs in people's mailbox is mean because it just explodes the mailbox. Just destroys the mailbox.
So you put dry ice in a bottle?
Dry ice in a 2-liter bottle.
Okay.
And
get out
expands, and then it'll take out a mailbox.
I learned the one in college. I don't know if I should say it on radio, which means I shouldn't say it on radio then. I will not say it on radio.
Say it on radio.
Should I?
Yeah, now you will.
Now? Oh, I went up
what are you doing?
to some buddies of mine's house, some frat guys, and they were like, you got some aluminum foil? I'm like, what are you talking about? They go grab a bottle, put some aluminum foil in it, and some mean green cleaner, and it exploded.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see that. I was like, what do y'all got going on over here? See, this is why I stay on campus. I shouldn't be over here with you guys making this.
You got to be very, very careful.
M80s are the culprits today, though. Those are the number one.
Well, I mean, to Jesus' story that you missed earlier this week, just toilet blew up.
Toilet blew up? What's wrong with y'all?
What you doing an M80 in a toilet for? You know what's going to happen.
So is the M80 legit like a dynamite, a small dynamite?
Sort of, yeah. Eric in Nashville. What's up, Eric?
What's up, Eric?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, guys, a couple of guys. First of all, I would just want to wish all you guys and all the listeners out there happy 4th, stay safe, enjoy your barbecues and all that type of stuff. A couple of things. I'm going to get to the kid story when I was shooting off fireworks in a minute. But, Ramon, you were right. They're definitely going to be nuts out there. It's going to start. It's going to be tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday.
And
people
Monday.
shooting off fireworks. Yeah, and Monday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what was frustrating to me at times is I remember people shooting off fireworks even a week before the 4th of July, sometimes up to a week after the 4th of July. But one time, I'm telling you, I was in bed, asleep. I'm not making this up. It was like 2 in the morning. All of a sudden, I just hear pop, pop, pow, pow, pow. And it was going for like the next 2 hours from like 2 o'clock in the morning, like 4 a.m. And I'm saying to myself, you have got to be kidding me. This was a number of years ago where some fool was shooting out fireworks between 2 and 4 in the morning. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But anyway, when I was a kid, me and a group of friends, we were off shooting off fireworks. We were doing the bottle rockets and everything. And this was, I was about 11, 12 years old. This was a long, long time ago. I can't remember if we stuck like a bottle rocket in the actual bottle or on the ground. We lit it, and we all ran back onto the porch and stuff like that, waiting. Well, this was just like a dud or something like that. So we kind of cautiously approach it. You just walk it close to it, and all of a sudden we go, ew! And just go straight up a little ways, kind of runs around in a circus on the ground and pops, and everybody's just laughing. They were scared to death, but it would have been a lot worse if somebody tried to pick that up. But that actually happened. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you.
Wow. Yeah, the screamers is those. I used to love those as kids. Yeah. I love those.
Is that a screamer or CG?
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds like 1:30 in the morning.
Goodness, man.
Party's still bumping because my mama ain't home.
But man, golly, listen at this. The M80, I had to look it up. They're like outlawed. Apparently they're fake ones too, but this is in 1983. Wasn't born yet, but there was an explosion at a secret unlicensed firework factory producing M80s and M100 fireworks near Benton, Tennessee. It killed 11, injured 1, and inflicted damage within a radius of several miles. The operation was by far the largest known illegal fireworks operation, and the initial blast was heard as far as 20 miles from the site. These are bombs. What's wrong with you people? This is insane. But I loved it as a kid. I will say that, putting them in bottles and throwing them.
See, that's the whole point. It's
I
like,
know.
What's wrong with you? But I liked them, though. 615-737-1045. That story was terrible.
Golly, that's terrible. Benton, Tennessee.
No, that's rough. 737-1045. Chris and Daryl, you'll lead us off when we come back. You can jump on 737-1045. The fireworks stories are going to continue. No question about that. We'll be back. It's J Mart and Ramon. Be safe. And if you're shooting out fireworks right now, that's a waste of your money because it's daylight. We'll be back here on The Zone. Hey, so it's July, and tomorrow is the end of Genesis Diamond's amazing finance offer that I've told you about for a month. It was only supposed to go for a couple of weeks. They extended it for a few because of the turnout. So until 5 p.m. Saturday, you can still take advantage of this, and you got to. 5 years, zero interest financing, practically everything in the Genesis showcases. Get in now and splurge. You can treat yourself. You can treat someone you love. Maybe now's the time for that engagement ring, fellas. $12,000 designer ring complete with a GIA certified diamonds, just $200 a month. $6,000 items, $100 a month. Something that costs you $4,000, a diamond eternity band, $67 a month. All you do is you take the price, you divide it by 60, that's your payment. You can even finance the sales tax. This is the best way to buy. It's the easiest way to buy. Everything else is costing you more right now, but jewelry doesn't have to. And this is top flight stuff at Genesis, as you know. But it ends Saturday. They can't extend it. So get in by 5 tomorrow. Tell them you heard me tell you to get in there by 5 tomorrow. Do it now. Only at Genesis Diamonds on approved credit, Green Hills and Cool Springs. J Mart and Ramon 104.5 The Zone. I do enjoy this tune. Just let it ride for an extra minute or two. Chris and Brentwood. Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, big guy?
Not much.
Hey,
How you
brother.
doing this morning?
Living my best life out here doing this baseball tournament thing. You know how we do.
Oh, boy.
We never get a weekend to ourselves.
That's my kids is out there today. It's about to actually.
Man, I mean, I'm here at Ravenwood High School, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I forget
I
what
got a
school.
17-year-old, 6'4" giant out here smashing dingers all over the park. But
Keep them in it, baby. Keep them in it.
Oh man, you already know, man. I love it. So check this out. Both of mine are military, and the first one happened in 2011. We was in just south of we was in Tikrit, Iraq, and it was 4th of July. Soldiers ain't going home, so soldiers got to find something fun to do. So I was in the top tactical operations center, and I just happened to walk out, and I seen soldiers carrying a sleeping bag. I'm like, what are they gonna do? What's going on? This is not gonna end well.
Yeah,
That's right.
They take a soldier who is knocked out of a sleeping bag, and they take him and put him, within 30 or 40 feet or the howitzer cannons. Well, every night we get indirect fire, and then you got their return fire, just like clockwork. So by 4:30 in the morning, the howitzer cannons start going off. I've never seen a person come out of a sleeping bag butt naked faster than this soldier.
Uh-oh.
Hold up.
The second one is even better. This happened in Fort Pope, Louisiana. We was down there doing some training. My team was actually training the National Guard element. This lieutenant, who apparently had pissed off some younger soldiers, decided he was going to take a nap. Well, they put him in a porta potty with about 10,000 blackjack firecrackers and duct taped it shut.
What is?
It did end well. It did.
Did he get the blue stuff on him?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, did he get the blue stuff on him, dude? He's like a Smurf. Smurf.
What's wrong with
man,
y'all?
have a good one, man. Y'all
You too.
For real, bro.
Thank you, Chris.
The real question is,
Aw.
why was he sleeping naked like this in a war zone? Dog, are you not prepared? Chris, we got
Always here, man. Like,
Apparently he was confident with his weapon.
You just gonna drop that and leave?
you don't
You
have.
did.
Is there not some kind of audio drop or anything you can play after something like that, Chafe?
No.
Like that feels like you need something after it.
No.
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said
I mean, it
so.
can literally have been anything, so that's fine. Daryl in White House. Daryl, what's up?
Yeah, no, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to work at a fireworks stand. One of the ones the gentleman talked about earlier had to go to the county line to get to. A couple from our church owned those, and I used to help them out. So at the end of the night, during the end of the season, they would give us fireworks. We'd have the good stuff, take out Percy Priest Lake. We're out there putting on a show, having a good time, and all of a sudden one of the guys, one of the huge bottle rockets that we had, he lit it, knocked it over accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
They're waterproof wicks. So it skips on out into the lake, goes off, lights up the whole lake.
Oh.
Really cool looking. And we were like, whoa. And of course, everybody's watching the show. Do it again, do it again. We're like, yeah, man, that was cool. Do that again. All of a sudden, boom, big old spotlight hits us right there on the edge of the lake. TWRA agent. Boys, y'all putting on a good show. We know that was an accident. You do that again, you're going to jail.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be killing the fish.
Party over real quick.
Oh.
So they said, no, y'all go ahead and continue your show. We know that was an accident, but don't do that on purpose because we will have to arrest you.
I didn't realize the wicks were waterproof. Are all wicks waterproof?
I don't know about all of them.
A lot of them are.
But a lot of them, yeah.
A lot of them are.
That's a good story, Daryl.
I was, yeah.
We always heard about fireworks and dynamite with fish.
get you
If
arrested.
you need dynamite for fish,
You're a bad fisherman.
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like
You're
a Jeff
not-
Foxworthy joke is following that.
It absolutely. You might. Yeah, that's right. Bob in Sulphurdale. What's up, Bob?
What's up, Bob?
Hey guys, I got one for you. I don't know what they're called, the little
spinner things that shoot up in the air and shoot flames out. All
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law is standing in the middle of the driveway going, I don't think it's working, and stands over it, and it goes straight up his shorts.
Oh.
Watching a grown man get buck naked in the middle of the driveway as fast as he possibly can might have been one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
How did it go up like that? I mean, I'm not like
it shoots up. The flames, it spins and goes straight up off the ground. So he went and stood over it, thinking it was a dud and wasn't working, and it shot straight up his shorts.
Wow.
Oh, well, good thing he didn't have on those. Well, he might have had on Hoochie Daddy shorts if it went up like that.
Will Bowling has been in the studio this week.
Just watching him come out of it was probably funnier than watching him go up his shorts anyway.
No doubt about it, man.
That's good stuff, Bob.
That's solid.
Did you say I needed to shout somebody
I'll
out?
do it. Shout out to all his coworkers
Yeah.
there on the job site in Sulphurdale. He listens to the show regularly, has it up real loud out there on the job
Hope
site.
y'all like the show.
Nope.
If not, then
Well, the algorithm doesn't care whether you like it or not.
well, it's just on their behalf. Tots and pears if you don't like it if he's playing it
You will
super
be.
loud out there.
Give it a week. You'll be all right.
That sounds like a diagnosis. Like put some of this balm on it. In about a week it'll be all right.
Who told you to put on
It's
the
'cause-
bomb? I didn't tell you to put on the bomb.
Did a doctor tell you to put a balm on?
Doctor didn't tell you to put on the bomb.
Where does this
Somebody
from?
tells you to put a balm
Seinfeld.
on and you do it?
Oh.
I didn't expect you to get it remote.
Yeah, I was
that guy.
lost
That
on
character's
one.
actually doing commercials now.
Who,
A new run of
Jackie
commercials.
Childs is doing
Yeah.
commercials? No
Yeah.
kidding.
I don't remember the product, but I saw the Jackie Childs character. the other
Jackie
day.
Childs was built off of Johnny Cochran
Oh.
on Seinfeld.
Oh.
He defended Kramer after Kramer spilled hot coffee
Oh, do you know
on
who
himself.
Johnny Cochran was?
Yes, I do know Johnny.
It was Johnny Cochran.
World famous lawyer OJ.
Okay.
Had a
I-
law
I
firm
just-
in
I
Memphis.
had- I
He's
wanted
also
to
a
make
member
sure.
of Kappa Alpha Psi, our fraternity. Shout out to the Noops.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Cochran.
Man.
That was amazing.
Cultural.
Okay.
No, everybody know Johnny Cochran.
I'm never sure.
The late Johnny Cochran.
Late Johnny
That's
Cochran.
why I said, did you know who Johnny Cochran was?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. What do you really think
be listening to you? I ain't listening to you.
Didn't listen to the guy earlier. Hey, I got two
Zach
stories.
Bunch.
Hey, we'll see you
Zach
after
Bunch.
one.
I hope Charles works there. Charles has been taking it all week, man.
Well, y'all been
Sesame
on
Street
Charles?
top 5 rankings on Wednesday.
Y'all did? Oh, wow. Charles wasn't for that at all.
I was thinking about this yesterday
I'm
because
listening.
this is sports-ish, Charles. So we got this Le'Veon Bell, Adrian Peterson
Oh,
thing.
my. Y'all talked about
What
it
two
too?
athletes do you want to see fight? J. Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Jay, with home prices on the rise, man, there is no better time than now than improve the look and value of your home with new windows from Window Nation, where, listen to me, you can get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, plus pay nothing, 0 for 2 full years, man. And that's a little crease that you can kind of pad your pockets with a little bit.
Tuesday afternoon, Window Nation's going to be at the estate.
Yeah!
At the Palatial Martin estate, a very humble estate that we have.
Okay.
It's time to get that window taken care of. I've been doing these all week just myself, and I mentioned, look, that deal really pays off for you, Mom, because you've got like,
Hey.
I don't know, 200 to 300 windows
That's not
in
what
your
we're doing.
mansion. Like I've seen it from several different drone shots. You got to make sure all those windows are taken care of. The more you have, the more chances that you have one that's not sealed. Top of the line materials from Window Nation. Your lower floor, where you have like 60 windows, mold spray, quad max sealant, toughest against all weather conditions. Your second floor, another 85, 90 windows somewhere in there. Same exact deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Pay nothing for 2 full years. No money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. Your third story, where you have 120 windows and it's all big glass. It's like the penthouse suite up there in the stop. I think they have a steakhouse. It's like Bourbon Steak. They've got it right there at the top of your place. So that's all windows. Again, got to make sure that's taken care of because then you're paying more for your energy costs. I know that doesn't affect you, but that does affect normal people. So get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. No down payment, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. You'll save thousands. It's savings you're only going to see once this year. The telephone number to call, just like I did, is 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION or online. Where, Moan?
Leave and go visit the website at windownation.com.
From the Superbook.com sports desk, I'm Jonathan Schaefer. It's 8:02. USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 and will join the Big Ten in 2024. Yesterday, the Big Ten approved the applications for admission from the two schools. The vote to approve was unanimous. Plenty of news from the NBA. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic has agreed to the largest contract in NBA history. I know I butchered it. A 5-year, $270 million Supermax extension. Phoenix Suns star Devin Booker has agreed on a 4-year, $224 million Supermax extension as well. Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. And John Morant agreed to a 5-year designated rookie extension and will likely be worth $231 million. Deshaun Watson's disciplinary hearing has finished after 3 days. There is no set timetable for the decision on Watson. Also, Major League Baseball, Phillies 14, Braves 4. Atlanta will be at Cincinnati starting tonight. 5:40 will be the first pitch. For any foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On your Over the Titans and Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Third hour, J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. So, Shafe, I know you care, even though it wasn't an invite you were going to be able to take, so I didn't do it. Any questions about Thor?
Any questions?
No,
I'm
anything you want to know?
Looking forward to seeing it next week.
Me too. And I did Disney, and they were talking about it this past, like the guide that we had was talking about it. Man, he's super ecstatic.
By the way, Nikola Jokic.
I won't say anything.
Nikola Jokic. I completely butchered it during the update. Nikola Jokic.
What did you say? Jokic?
I think I said John Smith. I think I said John Smith. No, I destroyed it. And I know better.
No, you don't.
I kind of don't.
No, you don't. Stop acting
Nikola
like
Jokic. That's right.
Stop acting like you're a mature adult out here.
I'm not acting like that. And I can't say this name either.
Iamaliava.
Let me double check the email
I was in
before
his
I
area
say
this past
anything
week.
here.
What?
I was close to Long Beach this weekend. Went to Venice Beach, man.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Went there. The beaches in California, they look a whole lot better than the ones in Florida, probably because of the weather. But I went to Venice, man. It was pretty cool. Saw the Santa Monica Pier and everything.
All right, so the embargo's passed. All right, go ahead.
And we were down there, had to go get some waters and stuff. Came ill prepared for the beach, like the worst preparation ever going to the beach.
Did you go to Disneyland though?
I did go to Disneyland.
That's where we went together. We went there in California Adventure. That was the first place Abby and I went back in June of 2019, a few months before we got married. Yeah. We loved it because it was dry heat.
Dry heat, yes.
So it feels so much better than humidity, and so it didn't matter when we were there. It was pleasant the whole day, and we got our Dole Whips. Yeah. And Dole Whips is the best thing on planet Earth, and that's one of the only places in the country you can get.
But or Hawaii. You go to Hawaii is really good there too.
Abby just said the only downside to this fireworks topic, is that you're giving bad ideas to people to terrorize their friends.
This is going to happen regardless.
I know it is. And they're going to call and be like, well, thank you for that. I'm like, well, that's what we've done on this show.
So you said the embargo's over?
Yeah,
you can talk about
it's embargo.
Thor?
I can actually talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to go into any detail. Go ahead. If you've still got more,
finish my
go ahead.
real quick, okay?
I mean, we haven't cared all week what you've had to say.
I know. It's all good.
I show up one day and now, all right.
I got tow trucks coming to pick up your cars real soon.
Well, we don't have the gate closed.
Well, the gate's not closed anymore, is it? Somebody stuck a Bud Light can on top of the fence back there. I don't know if I should pick it up and drink it or what, but never mind. Here we go. But they're filming at Venice Beach the Barbie movie. I saw Ryan Gosling this past weekend. He was fully outfitted in the green, pink stuff that he had on. But the star of the show?
Margot
Robbie. Robbie or Robbie?
Robbie.
Robbie, listen to me. Looks exactly like what she looked like in the pictures, okay? I was sitting there with my mouth dropped like, Mom, pick up your chin, man. Like, that's a very pretty woman, man. And just to seeing them film that movie was really cool. The crowd around them wasn't really intruding on it and everything. It was a bunch of people like around the set that I was like, man, why are they standing so close to it? They were extras. I'm thinking to myself, you actually get paid to be an extra. Like, that goes under like your resume, extra in the Barbie movie. It was crazy because it was 2 sets of people there dressed the same way. It was Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie and their stunt doubles.
So what is that? Barbie and Ken, I assume?
Barbie and Ken, yeah.
Okay.
He released like a photo
I didn't even know
last
there
week.
was a Barbie.
Yeah. There's people pretty excited about it, too. He looked like a Ken version. A human version of Ken is what Ryan Gosling looked like. But listen to me. Margot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had to go back.
I can't comment, but she's always been one of my favorites.
She's cold-blooded, man.
Abby's 1. Margot Robbie's probably 2.
Oh, here you go. Oh, my God. You really did that on air? Okay. All right, cool.
What do you say? I said my wife is the most attractive woman in the world to me. What do you want?
Yeah, it's cool, Jay. It's cool to get brownie points on air. It's all right, man. We were just having a guys' conversation right there. That's all.
I'm with it.
No, it's cool. I see where
I
you're
already told
saying.
you I love Margot Robbie.
Okay, all right. That's all I needed you to say. That's the reason.
Oh, so you just want me in trouble. The fireworks are coming at my house.
Yeah, they are. Coolest setup right there. Jason felt the pressure.
I don't even know who Vic Damone is.
Vic Damone Jr. But yeah, tell us about Thor. What happened?
Oh,
man?
yeah. So,
is it good?
All right, so you loved Ragnarok, right? Like
Love
I did.
Ragnarok.
Loved Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I loved Ragnarok. This is okay.
Stop.
I mean, it wasn't bad,
Just okay?
but it's nowhere near as good as Ragnarok was.
Ragnarok was good. From
And I think the biggest
beginning,
reason
though.
is this, and I think you can understand this. There's really nothing particularly wrong with this, although it definitely takes a little while to get going. It's just the first one came on like a surprise.
Yeah.
Because nobody really expected it to be that good because it was coming off of 2 other Thor movies that weren't. Thor: The Lost World was maybe the worst Marvel film.
Mm-hmm.
And the character was kind of dull. And so they changed it up, and Taika Waititi directed it, and I love his stuff and just his sensibility and everything. And Ragnarok was just so much fun. And this movie is fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really wrong with it. It just doesn't hit the same.
Okay.
It's still good. I mean, it's pretty good.
Okay.
It just, you know what? I didn't walk out jazzed the way I did out of Ragnarok, and maybe that's just too high a bar for it to hit. But it's certainly it's going to do well. And Rhett and I talked about, and Shafe, we talked about Kate Bush.
Yeah.
And the $2.1 million in royalties she's gotten over the last month for a song she released in 1985 because Stranger Things put it in their season 4 big climactic scene with Sadie Sink. Well, I know another band that's about to be discovered by a brand new generation, and an album in particular that's probably about to explode all over again. That album is Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah. By who?
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
There are 4 or 5 Guns N' Roses songs featured prominently throughout Thor: Love and Thunder.
One of the greatest hard rock albums of all time.
Absolutely true. Like
Yeah.
without
That's a
hyperbole, it
multi-generational
is a
opinion.
classic.
Yes.
I need to listen to it.
You do. I've actually been thinking about this to where we need to trade.
Yeah, you need to
music
help
amongst
us
the
understand.
group.
Like, I understand the 90s hip hop scene, and I enjoyed it and all that, but I can't sit here and say I've ever listened to stuff like UGK and all of that. I've never heard any of that kind of
All
stuff.
right, I need to know more about J. Cole. Who is it? Lil Durk and
Lil Durk.
yeah,
some of that. I know
wanna
about J.
learn
Cole,
more
but some
about
of the Little Durk's where you lose me.
Yeah, Lil Durk. I got y'all. Some Young Thug. Okay, I got you.
And I mean, Sweet
Say
Child
less.
of Mine is used as is mentioned in the chat. It's mentioned a lot, but Sweet Child of Mine is not even the biggest one.
Man, that's awesome.
All right, you might not be able
21
to
Savage?
answer this question because it might be too much of a plot spoiler. How does the girlfriend become a Thor?
I don't want to tell you that.
Okay.
Or not on air at least, but they actually make that make sense. At first I didn't buy it, but the second half of the film, here's a good comparison for Thor. Remember how much you love Guardians of the Galaxy?
Loved it.
What'd you think of Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Fine.
That's the difference between Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Well, that means I'm happy to go see it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
by any means, I'm not saying it's not worth seeing. I'm just saying that like that feeling you had in the first one that maybe you didn't have in the second, but the second one had emotional resonance because of Michael Rooker's character, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That was a great story arc with the father and all that.
Yeah.
They do the same thing in this film in
Okay.
terms of the emotional side of it is stronger in 2 than 1, but the film as a whole is more fun and a better ride the first time around.
What's the name of the rock character? Krug or something like that?
It's
What's his-
Korg.
Korg?
It's Taika Waititi, actually.
Right. Korg.
He's
may-
my favorite character.
I'm just
in
going to say, he
Ragnarok.
may be my favorite character in all
I
of...
love me and Brad Willis bonded
Yeah.
over that
Love Korg.
Watching Ragnarok, we were walking out, and I was just like, Korg is the man because it's just such a stupid character.
Oh, it's the bald-headed guy?
I mean, it's the Rock. It's the big rock guy.
I kind of look at
See you
Korg
later,
as,
New Doug.
I kind of look at Korg as the mascot of
yeah.
this show.
Korg is hilarious.
Okay.
He's the Orange Cassidy of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, Korg is hilarious and stupid, so he definitely fits this show.
D. Good says, is Natalie Portman the problem with Thor? Certainly not Love and Thunder. She's good. Like I said, you will. I'm not saying you're not going to enjoy it. I'm just saying I'd be surprised if you liked this as much as you liked Ragnarok. Would be my big takeaway. I did not hate this at all. But if Ragnarok was a 10, this is about a 7, somewhere in there. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. You can't. Ragnarok was going to be a hard mountain to climb because I absolutely adore that movie
from the beginning.
Just hilarious.
Is the
So
intro
good.
of this new Thor pretty good though? Is it trying to do the same thing, like catch you from the beginning?
Sorta. It just kind of reveals who the villain's going to be right off the bat. You see his story.
Okay.
To set it up, and then it goes into it. I think that early on it's just a little bit meandering.
Yeah.
But you'll have fun with it.
All right.
So how long is the movie?
It is 1 hour and 51 minutes, and that's a beautiful thing.
So it's 151, yet it meanders at the beginning? That's interesting.
But, again, at least it's not 2.5 hours of meanders.
Oh, there's no question.
A lot of these Marvel films, a lot of these films in general now are just too long. This one doesn't outstay its welcome, and some people don't want to know whether or not you stay through the credits, so you make that decision for yourself.
Should I stay through the credits?
Should I answer that question or not?
Well, I'm just asking
two
for
ending credits.
Well,
isn't
but I
it?
mean,
yeah, it's 2.
There's no reason why you can't answer that. I don't see how that's an issue.
There are 2 stingers.
I
Okay.
heard, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not asking you
one
what's
midway,
in the
one at the
credits.
end.
Yeah, I heard it was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Learned that this weekend.
Yeah.
Not asking what's in the credits, just should I stay
No,
through
but
the
some people
credits?
don't even like to know that.
Well, and they're
Why
idiots, and there's nothing I
not?
can do about that.
But you can actually look it up, and stinger.com, I think, is where it is, where you can find out if you need
yeah,
to stick
for
around
those
for
people
credits.
that are that sensitive,
You, Aaron Rodgers.
One other question was just asked as we go into the break. Did it need the Guardians as part of the film? It just makes you want Guardians 3 is what it does. Like the part of the film the Guardians are in, it just reminds you that you really like that group of people and you'd like to see them again in their own film.
kind of worried about a Guardians 3 film.
In a bad way?
The first two, my favorite 2 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe were the first Guardians and Ragnarok. My favorite in terms
I think
of
Ragnarok is 3. I think Captain America the Winter Soldier. I think Endgame is way up there
Right,
as
but
well, but I think Ragnarok and Guardians
well, let me change this a little
are
bit.
together.
I'm not saying those are the best movies. For me, they're the most enjoyable / rewatchable.
I agree with that.
To where if they're ever on TV, yep, right there.
Definitely agree. I mean, they're just fun as hell. That's
Anytime
what it is.
Ragnarok's on television, I'm going to finish watching the
I
movie.
am too. Yep.
Either one of the Guardians movies, I'm going to finish watching it.
100%.
If I'm just gonna pick one to watch, like on Disney Plus, those are the 2.
Be the
Those 2
first
and
Guardians
just putting
and
it in,
Ragnarok.
and I like Endgame a lot, so I'll put that one on.
I hadn't gone back and watched Endgame
It's
again.
just so long.
Yeah, it's just super
And The
long.
Winter Soldier's just such a tremendous movie,
great
as
movie.
well.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's another one that's underrated. The first Ant-Man is a heck of a lot of fun.
By the
in
way,
the same vein.
The Ant-Man store or restaurant at Disneyland, phenomenal.
They didn't
no,
have
it's that
that when I was
Adventure.
out there.
Is that
California Adventure.
California Adventure.
The Guardians rides what they had
Let me
when
tell
I was
you
there.
this: the drinks there, Disney is giving it up. Okay,
So they were not the Ant-Man drinks.
no,
They were the Giant Man
They were
drinks.
the Giant Man drinks. Okay,
615-737-1045 is the telephone number, of course. John Glennon next hour, Casey Alexander, easy for me to say. Belmont's first official day in the Missouri Valley Conference today, so we'll chat with him at the very end of the program. We will come back. We will do this Titans topic that we teased, and then we got into the fireworks stories. And if you got more fireworks stories, you can bring those.
I
too,
want to
Case.
bleep a little bit.
Well, we're gonna do it.
today,
We're gonna
too.
do it at the end of the hour. We're
Okay.
just gonna be
All right,
your
cool.
segment at the end of the hour.
I just looked at what I wrote down
Because we
this
already
week.
did heights this week, and Rhett and Shafe went off. So
Red beat me twice.
Did he?
Yeah, but they were close.
Okay, all right. Long
one
as
went to extras.
long as you competed.
Oh, it was competitive. It was very
Oh,
competitive.
I've also got one more bleep. I might even do one more bleep too. All right, it's Jay
Hell
Martin
yeah,
on
you
104.5 The Zone. I want to talk to you about PAI Medical, the help they've given to thousands of men and women when it comes to their hair loss. If you need a surgical procedure, they've got that covered. Non-surgical solutions that are really easy to just go in a couple times a week and take care of. They can do that for you as well. All they do is hair. They are the very best at it. I listened to a few people in the building that had used them in the past, and I thought, yeah, let's see what they can do. My crown's a little thin. Went in there. My crown's not thin anymore, and I've still got 3-4 months more worth of this gradual growth to come through, and then might even do a second procedure a little bit as well. I love these guys, and I trust them fully, and it's one of the easiest endorsements I can make. It's just this is something that might affect your confidence. It's something you look at your old photos, you want to look like that again. You can with your own hair. This is not some kind of phony deal. It's not an overnight deal. And again, Michael Ramsey and his staff just flat out know what they're doing. They're wonderful people to deal with as well. They've been here doing hair for over a quarter of a century. I want you to call them today. Tell them you heard me talking about this and you just want to see what they might be able to do for you. 615-376-6010. That's 376-6010. To talk to Michael Ramsey, talk to his staff, get their opinion. Seriously, WeGrowHair.com. You can also go there. That's WeGrowHair.com.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you doing?
Sounded like a goat at the end of that.
One of the most iconic 4th of July videos ever, if not the most iconic, man.
It definitely is.
Back up, Ter.
So just as an update, since Schaefer didn't hear me during the break because he was setting that up, 4th hour is going to get busier. Jeff's going to join us at the top of the hour.
Okay.
So Geoff Schwartz will join us at 9 a.m. sharp.
So if you're going to call the show, you better do it now.
Exactly right. Jeremy is on line 1. Jeremy, what's up?
Jeremy?
Hey, what's going on? Good morning, guys. I was telling Schaefer about it. I ate a scoop of pre-workout. Now I'm sitting in this traffic, and I'm antsy because nobody's going anywhere, and I got this stuff making my skin crawl. But I was...
Oh, your phone got antsy.
Oh, I didn't even touch the phone. I was going to let that one try to. He calls back, Jeremy. I don't know what happened right there.
I just enjoyed that earlier in the show during a break. Our corporate boss totally punked you out.
For sniping somebody.
Outstanding.
It's just like, did he call back with the second story? Hey, fireman guy, I can't remember your name. Don?
Don or Dan, something like that.
I can't remember. I'm sorry because a lot of calls
Call
came
back,
through.
Jeremy. Your phone got as wired as you are.
I apologize. I did not actually hear you say you had 2 stories. Or actually, I did. Now I remember hearing it.
What were you doing while you were ignoring
No,
him?
I did hear it.
Look at him.
I realized I did hear it at the beginning. He said, I got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Shopping for what?
I remember it. No, I'm not shopping.
Some flops. Ghost Sniper. That's who that was.
So call us back with that story, please. I don't want to get fired because the boss wanted to hear the second story.
I know. And now we got Jeremy in traffic on some pre-workout that can't go anywhere.
We've talked about this before. I have undiagnosed ADHD. That's why we got Coco Melon away from CG. I don't want that happening to her.
You got ADHD?
I'm afraid of it. I've always been afraid of it.
Nah, I think you're fine. You're fine.
But why are you afraid of it, though, man?
Yeah.
You get treated for it. It's
I
all
know.
good. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a medication.
I've always
There's
feared that's something I've had. Like, I've always thought it, but I've never actually done anything about it.
Nah,
Schaefer, you see how I operate? Like how my mind moves?
Everybody operates like that.
Well, I produce this show. I know how your mind operates.
Exactly. The other thing is because it was just me for so long, my mind had to continue to move, but within every 3 monologues, I would completely forget what I was talking about.
That's just.
I would say once out of those 3 times. Every time. Here's Jeremy back on line 1.
What's
Jeremy,
up, Jeremy,
let's try this again.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I was telling Schaefer this traffic on 24, his phone cuts in and out. But so the stories with the fireworks, this buddy of mine, he taped, it was probably 20 or 30 bottle rockets together from one end to the other, and he decided to light it and hold it. And he had been under a fair amount of alcohol when he attempted to do this. And it blew up, and it shredded his hand, y'all. I mean, it was bad. He should have went to the hospital. But he didn't. He just made, he just did the best he could with it for probably 6 to 7 months.
What?
Like it was a massive blister for massive blisters all over it. And he tried to move his hand one time and it tore him all open, but his hand was terrible. Like it was just something so ever since then, fireworks, it ain't no joke, man. People get drunk, get playing with them. You get really hurt, but that's all I had to add to the show. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, there's some things. Look, drunks and fireworks and randos that run carnival rides, like fair. And I don't mean like Disneyland. I mean the fair comes to your town for a few days, and you can see the Ferris wheel rocking side to side as it's moving, and the dude at the bottom not really paying all that close of attention.
Yeah,
there's just some things where I'm going to let you have that experience.
Yeah.
Me from afar,
I'm good.
Maybe a funnel cake.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
That's kind of where I was this past week. Just this, man, y'all go do y'all things. I'll tell you what, the virtual VR stuff is a lot worse than the actual roller coasters, Jay. We got on this one ride that basically took us all around the world, man. It raised us like 65 feet up in the air. My legs were dangling. We're flying through the world. We see the Great Wall of China. We go to Paris. We go everywhere. And, of course, the elements, the 4D aspect of it, right, was so real to me, Jay. I was like, all right, I've had enough of this one because you're controlling my mind way too much on this amusement park ride right now. And you know what? I'm not even in Paris right now.
So California
sitting down.
Adventure, the things I remember from California Adventure, the Guardians, do they still have that or have they gotten rid of that?
Yeah, they got Guardians.
Where you do the drop.
Yeah, it's Tower Terror.
Yeah,
Tower Terror, basically.
But that actually is cool to stand in line because they have the thing decorated up with all the stuff as you're going through it.
And it's air conditioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's air conditioned. Yes.
What else?
The
is out
Cars
there?
ride.
Cars
by the
ride.
way.
Yeah, Cars ride's fun, man. Going around the mountain and everything.
I threw my hands up in the air, Jay.
I still got photos on my phone right now of that
I got
thing.
photos of mine, and I beat my kids too. Just so you know that we beat them in a race.
Okay, you said I beat my
I know.
kids.
You went Adrian Peterson
I
for
did
a
go
moment.
Adrian Peterson.
Easy there, Joey Kent.
Joey's get out. That's right.
I went Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson right there for saying I did not beat my kids, okay? But I beat them in the race on the Cars ride.
Yeah, the Cars ride. I'm trying to remember everything that was out there. We didn't do the Matterhorn.
Well, we did the Matterhorn. Oh, man, by the way, my kid got picked for the Matterhorn.
For being too tall for the ride?
No, the entry. Random pick. Miles walked through the parks. This lady walks up to him and is like, hey, we're selecting you to be our kid, wear the mask. You can go to the Fast Pass or the Lightning Lane anytime you want to. It was so random.
How much extra did you pay for that?
I didn't pay for that. I did pay for the private guide, which is the only way to do Disney, by the way. Did not pay for Miles to get selected. The most random thing ever happened. You know how you win like the lottery or something? My kid basically won the lottery because that one kid could go through that line as many times as they want without waiting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what
Space
did Miles
Mountain?
think about that?
Yeah, Miles was loving it.
Oh, yeah.
He was absolutely loving it.
No, that's awesome.
They only pick one a day, and like we walked through and my kid gets selected. That was super cool.
Boy, it's almost like
Yeah.
the fix was in.
Not this time. Not this time.
Former NFLer and his son's the one that gets picked. It just
had nothing to do with this.
weird.
In LA, I'm a nobody, okay? Absolutely not. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You'll see?
It's because you guys never played well in California.
Hey, well, we didn't.
100%
right.
You can't get mad at me. For
Pixar,
saying
but
that.
Pixar
right.
Pier, I remember that being fun because I love Pixar anyway.
Yeah.
And just walking through the cars, like the actual city and everything, the town.
Yeah. No, the cars, the whole land was super cool.
Yeah,
over
with like the
there.
gas stations and all that kind of,
California Adventure side,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's
is
the more
way-
adult side because the rides are over there.
And they got adult beverages on their side, too.
The Dole Whip, there was alcohol at Dole Whip, too.
I had a Pacifico with a lime. Oh, Jay, listen to me. You want to talk about making the day a whole lot better?
Sure.
You can get, in the words of our brother Ron Slay, fried and ride over there, okay?
I don't know if that's what he meant or not, but
Yep.
could have been.
Yep. Getting fried over there. It was an awesome time.
All right, so 33rd team.
Okay, yeah.
Mike
we got to
Tannenbaum's
talk
website.
sports.
We'll do this a little bit. Grading every Tennessee Titans position group going into 2022. It's letter grades. And we've been doing lists and stuff like that all week because of course we had quarterback. I'm gonna quiz you guys on this to see what you can give me on this. Letter grade quarterbacks for the Tennessee Titans. The list is Tannehill, Malik Willis, Logan Woodside. As a group, what's the grade?
C.
B.
C.
I was going to say B minus.
It's a B.
Well, C, B minus.
Position is still firmly Tannehill's, but with the rookie coming in with a lot of buzz, there'll be pressure to perform.
Well, you have a combination of production and potential.
But I think that's the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
to say that Tannehill / Kirk Cousins / somebody like that is like a B-ish quarterback is probably about right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's probably about right. Running backs: Derrick Henry, Hassan Haskins, Dontrell Hilliard, Jordan Wilkins, Julius Chestnut, Trenton Cannon, Torrey Carter.
At lowest, A minus.
I would say at lowest B plus.
A minus is right.
A minus.
A minus is dead right.
I was just thinking because his backup in depth is so uncertain about it. That's the reason. I was
But what
thinking.
I've already seen here is that they're measuring potential too.
The P. Okay, of course. Sure.
Well, they're saying this tandem and the tandem they are referring to, or that this guy Jack McCarthy is referring to, is Derrick Henry and Hassan Haskins.
Well,
says this tandem should come into 2022. I think Hilliard too.
Yeah.
That's one of the better groups in the league, and one defenses will have to heavily game plan for.
And I thought Hilliard played well when called upon last year. And Coach Mack mentioned that yesterday on the show.
Yeah, that's right.
That Hilliard more of a pass-catching running back.
Yeah.
Hilliard's
Wide receiver group. Here's the list. Robert Woods, Traylon Burks, NWI, Dez, Kyle Phillips, Racing McMath, Cody Hollister, Mason Kinsey, Josh Malone, Reggie Roberson Jr., Brandon Lewis, Juwan Green.
C minus.
C minus.
B minus.
B minus. Wow.
I told you this is not going to upset Titans fans because they like 33rd team is very high.
And I wasn't even trying to be a hater. I was
Me
thinking,
either.
I was thinking high end.
I think
C,
that's high.
Low end. I think that's high. I think it's a C. I went C minus because I'm looking
Yeah,
at
I
it a
go
little.
C at
I'm
that
trying to
time.
guess what they're going to. So I'm going to guess high for everything now with them.
And again, they're definitely looking at potential because they make it the Traylon AJ
Yeah.
replacement comparison. NWI will have an upgraded role, all of that. But then they even say behind these three, meaning Robert Woods, Traylon, and NWI, there's not a ton of experience in depth. Well, there's no experience from Traylon Burks. So the Titans are going to need guys to develop and step up in case of injuries. We talked about it yesterday with Kayla that there is talk that Dez is impressing.
He is impressing.
And that he could have a big second year. I'll need to see that.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see that because that'd be an incredible story.
Yeah, I'll defer judgment until
That's what I'm going to say.
we see it happen.
I'm reserving it until I see how he handles camp.
Right. And that's the same way I feel about
Yeah.
Caleb and a couple of these guys. That was another topic that we had that was on the OTP this week with Mike and Rhett was 5 Titans that need to have good training camps and especially good starts to training camps. And everybody that then I asked that question said the same thing because I immediately said, well, let me see if I can pick them.
Yeah.
And it was Caleb, Dylan Radins, Traylon, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the other two you can kind of mix in and look at it. But I think Nate Davis was mentioned as one of them.
Yeah.
And then, maybe even Nicholas Petit Frere as well, because that's going to be a comparison between the two of those guys.
He's got to jump out quick. That's for sure, man. I'd even go so far as naming a starter or two. I go Harold has to look good, considering like Harold got paid early on, and you kind of forget like the dude, you're a guy now. And I'd also throw Bud in there. It's just in general, like those two guys have to be. If we're looking at the year that they had last year, and I know Harold got paid and Bud the year before, but if we were to ask almost anybody, you'd almost say, man, Danico probably had a bigger impact. Just in general, plays made, forcing quarterbacks to roll out and stuff like that. Those two edge rushers have to have really good camps to have a really great season this year between Bud and Harold.
Yeah, the other name that I mentioned in terms of somebody you'd want to see have a good camp and get good reports from in the first couple of weeks is Rashad.
Yeah.
Because Rashad Weaver, I think we forget how excited people were about him before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And what he was showing in the preseason and what you were hearing and even like a couple flashes early.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he might be a baller.
A great addition to this team, especially being a young guy too. If he can make a couple splash plays, his size and length, and just like you said, the flashes he showed in his rookie year. He's had a full off season plus time to recover too, and have some time off of his body, man. I'm expecting some good things for him. Again, he's gonna have to share time.
Oh yeah.
That's where he's at.
Tight ends: Austin Hooper, Jeff Swaim, Chigga Conquo, Tommy Hudson.
B plus.
B minus.
C.
What?
Swaim is a solid TE2. Titans will hope Austin Hooper can return to form under a fresh start after disappointing seasons in Cleveland. A lot of this unit rides on the receiving potential of Hooper.
Some people in the league are down on Hooper because of his production going down the past couple of years once he left Atlanta.
And I would say the other thing is this group, 33rd team, and who they've got doing this, they don't know anything about Chigga Conquo.
No.
They don't know that he's actually been a standout so far. A lot of people have said really kind stuff about him, but that's all potential, and it's not a name they're familiar with.
Right.
So it's not one that's going to get talked about as much. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because here, what's the biggest thing we're talking about as far as this offense? The tight ends. And they gave the tight ends a C. I'd actually knock the receivers down.
Agreed.
I'm B plus, A minus on the running backs. Quarterbacks, I was thinking C. It's a simple fact that they're not really putting a microscope on what the Titans got.
Good call.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Offensive line: Taylor Lewan, Aaron Brewer, Ben Jones, Nate Davis, Dylan Radins, Christian DeLauro, Jamarco Jones, Daniel Munyer, Jordan Roos, Petit Frere, Carson Green, Hayden Howerton, Jalen McKenzie, Xavier Newman Johnson, Andrew Rupsich, and Corey Levin. There's a lot of names right there. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who those dudes are.
Yeah. The ones I think we can assume are going to be here. Jamarco's in that group for sure. I give him a B plus.
Oh no, I'm going C plus.
B minus.
B minus.
So right between both of you. I'll read this explanation since it's your position, Moan. Taylor Lewan, one of the better left tackles in the NFL. He has been.
Say what you want. He kind of hold his own. Yeah.
Ben Jones is one of the better centers in the NFL.
Love him.
Two very good veteran pieces to have on an O-line. Nate Davis had a decent year in 21. Dylan Radins played sparingly his rookie season, struggled a bit when he played. Titans drafted Petit Frere out of Ohio State in the 3rd round. It'll be interesting to see how camp unfolds, who wins the starting tackle job, and if there's a move to guard for one of them as well. It's a unit that knows how to run block. It is shown with the numbers Derrick Henry has been shown to put up. Guys will need to step up. Improvements will need to be made in pass pro, but this can still be a solid unit in 2022.
Yeah. This is a bigger conversation for sure when discussing that OL. I'd almost rather see Nicholas Petit-Frere at right tackle and Dylan Radins at left guard. But I got to see what he's going to look like athletically on the edge as far as Radins goes.
I definitely agree.
We'll see.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more.
I think you're going to see a little shuffling early in the season.
You think one starts, one move is what you're saying?
I think you're going to see guys out there and you're going to be like, maybe we need to move somebody 3 or 4 games in.
I'd almost say Dylan Radins. Ooh, I have to see him in live reps in a primary position. I don't know if he's a right tackle.
I want them to prove me wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Because they seem to be convinced he's a right tackle.
And I think that's fair to ask of that. I think they're looking at experience and what his athletic ability is, and maybe just his size too. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with moving Petit Frere inside. I was a tall guard. He will be a tall guard. I did say I thought his footwork needs to be a little bit more refined.
I just don't know how ready he is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Put him at guard first.
What we've gathered and what we've seen, even in the pre-draft stuff, is there's a lot to like. A lot of it is potential. He's very raw.
And what round was he again?
Talent right now.
Third.
Yeah. You're okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
With a third round pick?
You can have time to develop a 3rd rounder.
But do they have time as a team?
Not with this unit because we're in a.
That's a different question.
If you're doing it with this unit, this is about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We'll come back.
That's what she said.
We didn't do the defense. We did all the offense right there. I heard you.
Really?
We're going to come back. We're going to do some bonus bleep you Aaron Rodgers. Since Moan has a few things to get off his chest. Then Geoff Schwartz is going to join us at 9, and he's going to go bleep you Aaron Rodgers probably, I would imagine, on the Pac-12. So you won't want to miss that. Show gets real busy starting right about now here at J. Martin and Moan 104.5 The Zone.
As leaders in disaster cleanup and restoration, the pros at ServPro are prepared for anything. Like when a relief valve on your water heater fails, pouring gallons of water into your finished basement. ServPro is prepared for it. Or when an electrical shortage in your office causes extensive smoke and water damage, ServPro is prepared for it. Or a musty odor indicates your co-host might have a, never mind, it's not his armpits that time, but you might have a mold problem. ServPro is prepared for that too. You need a lot more than help sometimes cleaning up, and that's why ServPro is your one-stop shop when disaster strikes. Not only do they have the equipment and expertise to clean up damage from fire, water, or mold, but they also offer a variety of construction services ranging from drywall patching and document drying all the way to complete structure rebuilds. There's just one call you need to make to bring your home or business back as good as new and as soon as possible. So if you're in need of cleanup from fire, water, or any unpleasant event, ServPro is always ready to help. Call ServPro and the official downtown Nashville operators at 800 ServPro to see how we can help you get back to like it never even happened. The number is 800 SERVPRO. That's ServPro. Cleaning, restoration, construction, and franchises are independently owned and operated.
Jay Martin and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Quarter till 9 o'clock as Jason Martin returns with our breakfast.
Breakfast.
We're very happy about. Bonus edition of Bleep You Aaron Rodgers coming up. Welcome back, Jason.
Welcome back.
We need somebody working the front desk in this building.
I'll work it.
Because that ain't my job. I just
it.
say that's a Bleep You Aaron Rodgers right there.
Ooh, I'll work it.
Anyway, Moan.
Man, I got a list, okay? Of course, you go on vacation with your kids and family, you're going to find something wrong and off, okay? It was a few things. So we started off in San Diego and drove up to Anaheim, L.A. area for the kids' vacation, summer trip and whatnot, right? First one, we went to a Padres game. And I just got to throw this out there. Y'all let me know if this happens in Nissan Stadium or any other place you've been to. But for the people who sit in other folks' seats at a sporting event that you did not pay for, and I know you didn't pay for because you're walking around lost and you say, oh, we'll sit right here. And then you get in my eye view of the game. And you also benefit from the fact that you didn't actually pay for these seats. To those people, I say to you, bleep you. Because why?
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Why are we doing this? Go to your seats, chill out, stay out of this area right here because I know you didn't pay for them. And then when somebody come, hey, those are my seats. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. No, you knew.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that. It's like, you know what you did.
No.
Just say, hey, I was hoping nobody's going to show up. We'll go ahead and move. Sorry about that.
Dog, like beat it. Okay, you know you're not supposed to be right there. That one really got to me this weekend for whatever reason. All right. Okay, this next one, and I saw this in San Diego. I saw it in Anaheim. I saw it at the airport before we left, all right? Brides, bachelors, divorcees, or anybody celebrating anything. Birthdays, your kid's first birthday. I don't care if your first drive. I don't care if it was your first sip of beer. I don't care about you turning 21, you turning 16. Stop posting your Venmo, Cash App, any kind of other cash QR scan on poles on the ground so that people can scan it and send you $20 to help you celebrate something. Okay, you just got divorced? Cool. Go to the bar with your friends. Don't ask us to Venmo you money,
yeah,
okay?
It's weird. When you see that on the back of somebody's car and stuff like that, I'm not Venmoing you just because you have a QR code on your car.
I'm not into this, okay? Spend your own money. You want to celebrate? Get better friends that's going to buy you shots. Shay, to those people, I say this.
You, Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
like randomly, we're not crowdsourcing.
No.
I'm not paying for your party. I don't know who you are.
Why would you randomly put that out there? You know what? Next one I see, I'm going to request you send me $20. How about that one? All right. This is another one that kind of got to me, and I know it's probably strategic too, but amusement parks. Let's make a dad corner, okay?
Oh, Lord.
All right. You know the deal. Some dads is going to go on every ride, and I appreciate that. I went on a few. Okay, I had a good time. But it needs to be a dad corner. We need a little bit of shade. We need a few benches. And you know what? It'd be nice to have a nice, cool brew, some waters, some snacks over there.
Oh, you get waters. They'll cost you about $8.
$9.
Phew, I was close.
We need a dad. We need a mom corner, an auntie corner, whatever you want to call it. You got to stand up for 12 hours at a time because there's zero places to sit.
Wait a second. Don't they have – I went to Disneyland. They had an adult, like an island where everything was just for really for adults and nobody else.
They might have put more kids stuff over there is what I'm telling you, Jay. So for amusement parks that don't have dad corners, or you know what? I don't want to deal with this right now, corners. I say to them.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
We need that in the studio.
Yeah, 100%. This is another one that it didn't bother me, but it's because it's your preference. Jeans at amusement parks. I don't see how y'all
like
do
blue
it.
Jeans?
Yeah, like blue jeans.
Nah.
Like, I don't know how y'all do it, but watching y'all made me hot, okay? I don't know how you survive like this at amusement park. Jeans at amusement parks. It was like 89 degrees in LA, and I know it was dry, but can you imagine the friction that I had to look at from people walking by with jeans on? Like, I get it. You want to be comfortable, but I don't think jeans was it. To those people, Shafe, that's showing off the way they do at amusement park wearing jeans and Nike Monarch shoes, I give them another one.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
All right, this is another one as far as
By the way, Danny just mentioned he requests money from anybody when they do the Venmo deal.
See?
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, we need that one, okay? If your feet are killing you also at an amusement park, I saw so many people just walking gingerly, Jay. Just hurting.
Yeah.
Just pick the right type of shoe. Just screw fashion, okay? Pick the right type of shoe because by 4 o'clock in that park on Monday, I saw so many people just walking gingerly, like their toes, their heels, their feet was just killing them raw, Jay. And I know you want to get your money's worth. It's expensive to go to amusement parks. Just go home. If you're walking and you know that blister is about to burst on the bottom of your foot, just leave, man. So for those folks that don't have enough mental stability to leave and go home, Shafe,
You, Aaron Rodgers.
just leave, y'all. Them kids will be okay. And this one too, airlines yesterday. Why am I paying Business Select if you let on 40 pre-boards? You want to talk about grinding your gears, Jay? Why am I paying extra when you let 40 other people on the plane and go take a seat that I potentially want? Now, I usually want the exit row.
figured you were in first class.
I usually go for the exit row. I flew Southwest, okay. But there are like 40 pre-boards before I get. I'm not talking about the elderly.
Yeah.
Not speaking about them. You need extra assistance. But little Timmy over here and little Jawan that got to get on the plane first, no. I paid extra to get on and go get the seat that I want, okay? Stop letting them on when I've paid extra cash for that ticket, okay? Not okay. So for that airline, Shafe, in case, unless they're like sponsoring us, hit them with it.
Well, you already told
You,
us
Aaron Rodgers.
who it was.
Well, we'll have to erase this from the board. And the other one, I just got to give it to the Browns because why? The decision's probably going to come down today.
I read that they're taking their time
Yeah.
to make a ruling.
They deserve it anyway, Shafe.
Probably
Hit them with it
another
one more
week.
time.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
That's my delayed Friday version of Bleep You Aaron Rodgers.
That was like 7 of them.
I had a
I
whole
have one.
week.
I can't remember what it was now. I said, I think I have another one.
Yeah.
Even though someone
And
could
it
have
was
so
good, and I can't
miserable of a
remember
time
it.
on vacation.
No, it was a great time. But it was a few things that grind your gears when you're just sitting back waiting at the park. That's all.
Man, you ain't handsome.
You damn sure ain't
You
cute.
damn sure ain't cute.
Love that drop.
I can't remember what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
the Venmo thing got to stop, though. The Cash App, start requesting money from them. I bet you they'll stop it. Oh, and I got another airdrop at the amusement park. Like, will y'all stop that? You know, you have your phone open and it's just random. I never opened it. I never hit accept. But that's a trend that's got to die.
Random airdrop
Airdrops,
people. Yeah.
yes.
No, I don't know you.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we doing this?
We got Geoff Schwartz coming up at the top of the hour.
My sister-in-law texted me and said, you should get a scooter. They'll pre-board you on the plane instead.
Oh, big
This
old
is
scooter.
true. This is true. What's up, Chris?
Geoff Schwartz at 9, John Glennon at 9:20, Casey Alexander at 9:45. Stick around. It's Jay Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, so it's going to be another scorcher out there again today. Yesterday I was thinking about washing the car, and then it got too late in the afternoon, and I realized we're going to be waiting on that. But if your HVAC system is not right now, then your life is not right now. If it can't keep up with the heat, that is a problem. Summertime in Tennessee is not when you want that HVAC system to quit on you. Lee Company makes buying a new system easy. $1,250 off a new system right now, or special financing for up to 5 years. They're going to make it affordable for you to be comfortable. And that right there, you need to take advantage right now. Again, offering $1,250 off a new system, special financing for up to 60 months. These are pros with over 80 years of HVAC experience. Everybody that comes out, that's what they are paid to do. HVAC technicians, HVAC specialists from Lee Company. Call them today. Learn all about their current financing and service special offers and take advantage, man. Take advantage. HVAC, $1,250 off a new system, special financing for up to 60 months. Easy phone number to remember is 615-567-1000. That's 567-1000, or visit them online at leecompany.com/promotions.
From the Superbook.com sports desk, I'm Jonathan Schaefer. USC and UCLA are leaving the Pac-12 and will join the Big Ten in 2024. Yesterday, the Big Ten approved the applications for admission from the two schools. The vote to approve was unanimous. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic has agreed to the largest contract in NBA history, a 5-year, $270 million Supermax extension. Phoenix Suns star Devin Booker agreed on a 4-year, $224 million Supermax deal. Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Ja Morant agreed to a 5-year designated rookie extension that will likely be worth $231 million. And the Phillies defeated the Braves yesterday 14-4. Atlanta starts a new series at Cincinnati tonight. Should say later in the afternoon. 5:40 will be the first pitch for that. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Fourth hour, hashtag fastest 4 hours in radio. Upon you, upon us. Blessed to bring it to you courtesy of all Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. 11-year NFL veteran involved for life, Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer. I'm Jason Martin. At Ramon Foster, at Schaefer on Sports, at Jmart Radio, at Jmart and Ramon. Puka on the YouTube Zone TV feed says some preloads could have been people bounced from earlier flight.
What's that? Say that again?
Some preloads could have been people bounced from an earlier flight.
Nah. This wasn't that case, and I'm okay with that. I'm just going to have to start.
I agree. If you're paying more money, you should have preferred seating.
You should get on first. Like I said, after service members, after, elderly have to get assistance.
Well,
if you got a broken foot or something like that. Yeah.
So I would have gotten on before you.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, and I'd have been real pissed.
Your boot would have got on before Ramon. You would have had to wait.
I would have had to buy 2 seats because that boot was large and in charge. All right, Mark's Main Real Estate Hotline. Geoff Schwartz, Smarter Than You podcast, Fox Sports Radio, hosting with me on Monday on July 4th in the morning. You can hear that here on The Zone. Geoff Schwartz is with us. Geoff, what's up?
Not much. The college sports has changed again. So a little bummed today. Yesterday I didn't know how to react. I was a little fired up. And today I'm just sad, just bummed.
Wow. So, yeah, you said you didn't know how to react. Somebody sent me a screenshot of a tweet that you sent. You said you certainly reacted. You certainly reacted with a couple of words that I saw that we can't use on terrestrial radio. So tell us what's going on. I mean, look, Pac-12 Network, you've been working daily for years on that. What is the Pac-12 without USC and UCLA?
Well, it probably doesn't cease to exist in the same form it is now. I mean, I think you can make the argument that, the Pac-12 might be able to add some schools, maybe poach a couple schools from Texas that were going to the Big 12, I guess. Add Fresno State and San Diego State, which really do nothing to increase the media market and the TV contracts we're getting. But, Texas and Oklahoma, right, the Big 12 is like newly formed, right? Like it's not a conference that was – and there was versions of the Big 12 for many years, but UCLA and USC are founding members of the Pac-12 conference, right? And it's just shocking. It's shocking they left, but not really. I mean, if you look at the landscape of college sports where we're moving to more, I think, of like 2 mega conferences, it made sense for, the Big Ten or anyone to try to get the LA market. And it's just, there's a lot of emotions with this. But the Pac-12 is going to be, look, if you're Oregon specifically, I mean, it comes down to Oregon whether the Pac-12 survives this, right? Because if Oregon says, you know what, we don't want to make this work, we're going to try to find a home in the Big Ten as well or the Big 12, then the Pac-12 probably doesn't cease to exist, or it has to absorb the Mountain West. And it's been 10 years coming, man. It's disappointing we got here, but we're here now.
Did it shock you? Like, I mean, it's just not something I was aware was even in the offing. Like, when I saw it, I was just like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah. USC and UCLA, like, how surprising was this to You and people that are much more plugged into the conference.
I mean, when we discussed what happened with Texas Oklahoma last year, we discussed this happening, right? That USC would be poached, that Oregon would be poached, probably UCLA as well, just because in the LA market. But to have it happen so quickly and quietly, I think, was the surprise, especially because our new commissioner, who ironically is 1 year on the job today, was doing a really good job of trying to restore a lot of the issues that Pac-12 had with revenue and is downsizing a little bit and kind of doing the right things. I think George Klopkov has done the best he could in the last year of trying to hold this together. But, you know, the only thing that bothers me about this is kind of how this is being framed a little bit, and from especially the LA media, is that, like, the Pac-12 didn't do enough for USC. I don't know. What are you supposed to do for a team that doesn't win in football? Like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, it wasn't the scheduling's fault. The USC wasn't good. They finally hired a good athletic director, Mike Bone, a couple of years ago, and they've resurrected a lot of its sports programs. But the idea that, like, the West Coast didn't cater to USC enough to keep them, it's true in that the TV deal was bad, but it was bad for UCLA and Oregon too, and Washington. USC decided that they needed more money. UCLA decided they needed more money. I don't really begrudge them for that decision, but the narrative that's forming that, like, the Pac-12, didn't cater to USC, and that's why they left, is kind of silly to me.
Well, what aspect of it that, kind of pushed those two teams out? Was it coaches? Was it personalities?
No, it's money, man. The Pac-12 deal right now, they get $19.8 million. The new Big Ten deal, there's estimated UCLA and USC will get more than $100 million per year.
Woo-hoo.
And UCLA is $100 million in debt for their athletic department alone. Their school has other debts as well. We don't know what USC, because they're a private school. And so UCLA is just going for the money because, look, competitively, if you look at where USC is in football with Lincoln Riley and where UCLA is in football and basketball, let's say, even USC basketball has been good the last couple of years. They've had probably their best stretch in 30, 40 years of basketball. This doesn't really make them in a better spot. I mean, UCLA hasn't won the Pac-12 conference of football since 1998. They're not about to win it now in the Big Ten. Now USC, instead of playing, Arizona State, Utah, Colorado, you're gonna be playing Michigan and Michigan State. You're not gonna be better because of it. This is just a money grab, man. You have the Olympic sports, which the Pac-12 excels in. UCLA and USC excel in Olympic sports. Now you're flying 2,000 miles on a Wednesday to go play a soccer match. Like, it's not helpful, but it's about the money, and the money alleviates a lot of concerns that both schools have as far as what the Pac-12 is paying them. And the Pac-12 does have a media rights deal coming up. They're negotiating that, and they weren't going to get what the Big Ten could offer them. So that's where we are. It's just the money. It's all about the money.
So maybe I'm ignorant. Well, I guess I'm definitely ignorant to this and everything else. But when it comes to UCLA, you said they were about $100 million in debt. Where has that shortfall come from? How are they $100 million in debt?
Coaching buyouts they've had to pay. COVID, just the COVID years. I think the COVID years added $62 million in debt. They weren't in school, didn't have fans at games. California was different, right, than the rest of the country. California didn't have fans. Even when the rest of the country was open, California was still limited seating at basketball games. And they're just, they spent money on facility upgrades, and they're just in debt, man. So there's a good. I can send you the article, the LA Times article that I tweeted out at one point yesterday from late January, kind of explaining UCLA's financial issues. And both UCLA and USC hired, and I think they're really good athletic directors, of Mike Bone and Martin Germain, from outside the conference. People that Martin Germain had been in the Big Ten for many years. Was at Boston College as well. Mike Bone was at Cincinnati and kind of removed from the West Coast. And so I get the appeal of going to the Big Ten. I don't think the Big Ten is done either. So I think when this is all said and done, they're going to be at least 18 teams, maybe 20.
Is it, kind of disrespectful for the teams that honestly been holding their own when it comes to the Pac-12, like Oregon, like Washington, like Arizona, as far as just, what they've done? The Pac-12 has been irrelevant a lot of the time, well, mostly because USC and UCLA also have been super irrelevant. And I feel like I can say that, but they're the ones that kind of, I don't know if you call it snaky. I don't know if you call it backdooring everybody else, but what about that aspect of it,
Yeah, as an Oregon, just kind of a purely Oregon perspective on this is, I'm a little upset because, Oregon has carried the conference for 10 years now, right? When USC football's been bad. And when UCLA basketball, they're getting better with Mick Cronin now, but UCLA basketball wasn't what, they wanted to be. Oregon was going to Elite Eights and Final Fours. And football, obviously, we've played in 2 championship games since Pete Carroll left at USC. And, we've basically carried the conference for 10 years. And we put a lot of money in, we've spent like an SEC team, right? We put the money and resources into our programs, and UCLA and USC haven't. Now, USC has recently, right? We saw them hire Lincoln Riley. Mike Bohn, again, athletic director, has done a good job there. And I don't think expansion is done. And you have to look at it kind of like this if you are an Oregon fan. Because I think there's some sentiment about, why wasn't Oregon included? Well, it's pretty simple, right? If you're the Big Ten, you're trying to expand, the first 2 properties you want are the LA market, which are UCLA and USC, and Notre Dame, right? That's the next big free agent. Once you get those secured, or Notre Dame tells you to kick rocks and then go to the ACC, then you can add more teams. So if you're at 17 teams with the addition of Notre Dame, now you need 1 more. And the next available option is Oregon. They're the best option. And it's interesting because I was just looking at a tweet I just saw that had estimated value for college football programs as of 2019 according to Forbes. And Oregon is ahead of USC and Washington. Like Oregon's the number 1 most valuable program in the Pac-12 conference. If you look at TV ratings, Oregon has 6. It's been in 6 of the 8 highest rated games on the West Coast. Maybe it's in college football the last couple of years. I don't know. There's some stat about Oregon in the West Coast viewership, and they've had 6 of like they are very, even though we're not in a big market, right? We're very popular, and so I think we're in a good position if the Big Ten wants to add Oregon, because if not, all that progress we've made kind of goes by the wayside, and it's going to be tougher to be a top tier program when you're with a conference that won't compete nationally. Which they don't compete nationally now in the big sports. So I think we'll eventually get there. It just might not happen right now. We'll see.
Geoff, you guys are Nike. You guys are Phil Knight. You guys are innovators of all things that other teams are starting to do as far as color changing, as far as helmets, as far as gear. I think y'all on the forefront of recruiting by having your recruits be in jerseys, advertise all that. With that being said, you mentioned Notre Dame, but are y'all in a bidding war also with the conference that wants y'all? Because it's free agency right now for teams in the Pac-12. Y'all got to be in a bidding war with Pac-10, with what, Big 12, Big 10?
Yeah, Big 10, yeah. And the Pac-12, I'm sure the Pac-12 is trying to keep things together as best they can. I'll just say this about Oregon. One thing that has always impressed me about Oregon is their ability to think forward, right? It's one reason why I think, and I know people will point to the Nike money, and certainly we benefited from that, but there's no program like Oregon we've had no history of success in football, especially before about 1994. Like, if you look at 10-win seasons from, the beginning of time to 94, it's 3 of them. We made, 2 Rose Bowls. Since then, we've had, 15 10-win seasons, right?
Right.
We made multiple BCS Bowls, 2 championship games. There's no program in you can look at Clemson. Clemson came out of nowhere, but they were good in the 80s, right? Georgia, they were good in the 80s. This is unprecedented what Oregon's done. Yes, there's money involved with it, duh. But other teams, Maryland has money too, right? Oklahoma State has money too. We're not the only team that has money. So they've always been innovative. They've always been forward thinking. They've always adapted to situations. And I'm sure right now, Dr. Schill is our president, and Rob Mullins, our athletic director, are on the phone. I'm sure they had a late night last night, figuring things out, talking to commissioners, talking to school presidents. I don't know, obviously, what's the state going to say if Oregon wants to leave, and Oregon State feels like they might get left behind. There's a lot of things to work out, but I do think Oregon will try to explore all the options possible to do what's best for them, because it's very clear now that we're at a point in college sports when there's no more groupthink, right? It's what are you doing for yourself.
Yep.
The Big Ten and Pac-12 were supposed to be aligned, and they were for COVID issues and they were for other things, but obviously the alliance has ended. Oregon's they're part of that AAU accredited schools that meet the academic standards that can go into the Big Ten and Pac-12. So they make it academically. It's just a matter of now, do they bring enough to Fox to want Fox to have them be part of this conference?
So, since this is the bummer segment of the program right now, before we let you go, Deshaun, where are you? We'll ask you one NFL question. I'm sure you and I will be talking about this all on Monday too when we're on FSR. But what's going to happen to Deshaun in your eyes? What should happen? Where are you on this story right now?
I'd be very upset that we give him 8 games and just then claim that last year was a suspension, give me my money back. I mean, he voluntarily sat out last season, right? He wasn't on any list. He wasn't on the exempt list. The Texans would have gladly played him if he wanted to show up. He didn't show up and got paid. And I just don't know how the NFL decides this isn't worse than anything else that they've dealt with in the last couple of years, right? They've suspended players for 6 games. When investigators have told them, probably not good to suspend them. I mean, look, I get that you're innocent until proven guilty. That's in a court of law, right? It's not a court of law, right? There's 24 women or more with the same exact story. It probably happened to everyone, right? Like, come on, it happened.
Yeah.
It's the same story. They didn't all just get in a group chat and start talking about making the same story every single time. But I'm mad at the Browns, man. Like the Browns made this contract to where the NFL's kind of screwed because the NFL, if they indefinitely suspend him, right, his contract tolls over, so he gets no financial penalty. He gets nothing. Like it's, and then they give him this contract where now the rest of the NFL has to pay their next quarterback $230 million guaranteed. It's slimy, man. Like it's just. So I would suspend him for a year or more. I would not look at last year as a suspension. He voluntarily chose to sit out. Now, maybe if he decided to play, they would have put him on the exempt list. I don't know. But he sat out last year by himself. He was on the roster the entire season. So I also don't, I get the NFLPA, their job. And, I know Ramon was part of the PA. I get their job as a defender, Deshaun Watson. I get that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the idea of them defending him. But the defensive, they didn't punish Robert Kraft enough. So Robert Kraft went to a massage parlor. It's just not the same thing at all. I just don't get these he needs to be suspended for a year or longer because you suspended players for a long time without having this much evidence and this many women that have the same story.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure we will talk more about it on Monday, Geoff. Great stuff, brother. We appreciate you, man. Drink a couple of extra ones if you need it today over the Pac-12. That's all good.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you Monday.
Yeah, man. I look forward to it, Geoff. That's Geoff Schwartz. The Kraft point is interesting. They made there at the end. The biggest difference with Kraft is Kraft and the people Kraft went and saw all knew what was happening.
What was going to happen.
The consent makes a pretty large difference in that case, in terms of that argument, but that was fire from Geoff.
Both are ugly. I'll say this too. I never heard Geoff be so defeated before.
Boy, at the beginning when he said he was bummed out, it was just like, oh my.
I never heard him admit that. You're admitting it right now?
From that to John Glennon. John Glennon, of Sports Illustrated, will join us on the other side. Jay Martin and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back, J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Great stuff from Geoff Schwartz. If you missed that and you want to hear about the Pac-12 perspective, that's a dude that has worked for the Pac-12 radio network daily and hosted a show there for years and years. Good friend of our program, good friend of ours in general. And you could hear it in his voice.
Yep.
He was hurt because he can see the end of the Pac-12.
Snowball effect.
He played at Oregon. He loves it. He's from California. But he laid it out. I did not realize UCLA was $100 million in the hole. And I couldn't believe that. Like, that seemed like a staggering number. I can't wait to read the article when he sends it to me.
I can't believe how much the
pandemic took a lot out of people, but
not just that. Like
buyouts, man.
The love affair with like the Pac-12, Pac-10 just was gone. Early 2000s?
Yeah.
They were hot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were playing, it was the SEC Pac-10 at the time, like game setup. We played Cal. We played UCLA. Like there was a bunch of that type of stuff going on, and now it's poof. It's about to be gone.
And he's right. Oregon has carried the conference for the last decade, and Washington's been there a little bit too. But Oregon has been there in multiple sports in terms of like what a number one seed in NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, maybe a couple times they've been high seeds, and they've been the one that's potentially been able to crash the college football playoff party on a more regular basis than has Washington. But my gosh, that's a sea change right there, ladies and gentlemen.
You mentioned one thing too. That's the outlook on jobs for people that
if you
cover
work
that
in that conference, if you work in media in that conference or anything else, what's your job going to be if there's no conference
You're either about to
employ you?
Lose it or get a huge decrease in pay.
Or you've got to move to something else. They shift you to something else because it might be affiliated with something else. But that's a tough go, man. Changing jobs in media is not advantageous a lot of the time. So we go to the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. His team still plays in the ACC, Virginia. I grew up Cavs fan, living in Martinsville. John Glennon is with us. Glennon, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Glenn?
Not too much. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Like, we didn't have news, and then the Durant story happened, and then the Pac-12 thing happened, and so the sports gods decided to give us a couple of things to chew on more than anything else. We're still about a month away or a little less now from training camp starting, so we're just looking at what everybody feels about the Tennessee Titans right now as a team nationally. And, of course, they're looking at it from a 30,000-foot view. We're a lot closer to it. What are you thinking right now about this team as we're about 3.5 weeks out from camp?
Yeah, I still think there are some important questions to be answered. No great surprise to those who've been following the Titans closely, but certainly, offensively, I think are the main concerns. You wonder, okay, who for sure is going to be your starting right tackle? Is it Dylan Radins? Is it going to be someone else? Who's going to be your starting left guard? Brewer, Jamarco Jones, is it somebody that's not on the roster now? And of course, wide receiver position as well with Traylon Burks, the asthma, the conditioning, Robert Woods coming back from the ACL. So I think offensively, those questions for the Titans, are probably what is drawing the most attention right now. And, I think as you look at the roster right now without A.J. Brown, and I think it's hard to say the Titans certainly are better offensively. I certainly don't think you can say that. So, I think to kind of reach last year's level of wins, they're going to have to show some things. Some of these question marks are going to have to be answered pretty resolutely. Some younger guys are going to have to step up in order for them to get there again.
So that's a good segue. We actually Rhett and I talked about this a couple of days ago. The 33rd team, Mike Tannenbaum's website, did the top 25 players in the NFL, 25 or 20. Yeah, I think it's 25 years of age or younger. No Titan was on the list. We had suggested Geoff was the one that was probably deserving of it. But then when you looked at the list, it was a pretty good list, John. And I know that you have done kind of the same piece for Sports Illustrated, and you actually cited the Tannenbaum piece. And, like, what we were trying to figure out is who do you take off to put Geoff on? Because Geoff probably should be on, but, like, we could only come up with maybe 2 or 3 names. Jalen Waddle, because he's still a little bit young, and we'd like to see more from him. I think A.J. Terrell And that might be a function of not watching enough Falcons football because we like our lives. So we may not have seen enough of him. But I think the biggest point that we got from that list was there's a lot of young studs in this league. And if Jeff Simmons can't make the list and we're not like egregious oversight about it, that just shows there's a lot of depth right now.
Yeah, there certainly is. Now, I think, and we probably have to ask Mike Tannenbaum and his cohorts this question themselves, but I wonder if, Jeff Simmons' age, the fact that he turns 25, I believe, this season may, the way they did the list, that may have kind of disqualified him. It was a little confusing how they did it because at one point it looked like he was 25 and under, and another point it looked like he was only under 25. And maybe since Simmons hits 25 this year, maybe he was not included in that group. But regardless, yeah, I agree with you. It's a deep group, but at the same time, I certainly think Jeffrey Simmons has to be placed in that top 10 somewhere, based not only what he's done over the 3 years, but I think specifically last year with those breakout numbers, and the way he affected, each and every game, whether it was on the interior or, where he really stepped it up last year, getting after the quarterback. I think he is a top 10, 25 or under 25. Whichever way you want to slice it.
Yeah, so your piece, you did a top 10 yourself of just Titans that are 25 years of age or younger and where they find themselves. And I think the biggest takeaway that I get from this, even though there's some heavy hitters that aren't here, is that a lot of the players that we're most excited about entering this year are in this list. It's Big Geoff. It's Christian Fulton. It's Amani Hooker, who's now really starting to get talked about outside of Nashville. It's Nate Davis. It's guys like that. It's David Long, who we all really enjoyed watching last year. It's Molden, who got reps early. It's NWI. It's guys that I think there's a lot of excitement around a lot of those guys, and them being young, that's a hopeful feeling for Titans fans.
I think certainly that is the case. Another thing that stood out to me, as I made the list, and the way I made the list, I did it primarily almost entirely on production so far as opposed to potential. So, for instance, I eliminated all the most recent draft picks just because obviously we haven't seen them play it down yet. And then even some of the other guys, like Caleb Farley, Rashad Weaver, Dylan Radens, the sample size is so small, I didn't really feel right putting them in either just because it's so much potential now and we need to see more. But there are certainly some guys, that's a pretty good core of guys, the list that you rattled off there. And even some of the other guys, too, that came in at the end of the list. Like, I thought Monty Rice showed a lot of potential in the few games that he played. He racked up a ton of tackles. And defensive line, I thought both Naquan Jones and Pierre Tart kind of at various points during the year, also, excelled. So what really struck me about the list also is that 8 of those 10 guys and 4 of the top 5 were on defense. That's a pretty good percentage, and you have to hope if you're the Titans that some more of the young offensive stars start to blossom. And it's entirely possible, again, the Titans went heavy on offense in this past draft. So when we start to see the likes of, a Treylon Burks, Malik Willis, Haskins, Nicholas Petit-Frere, perhaps when they start to play, show out a little bit, it'll be a different top 10 of 25 and under players.
And I think that's where I was really headed with you as far as my next question for you is the defense is at a point where with this Titans team, they're about to have the stronghold as far as being in the driver's seat for really determining wins and losses of the team. At least that's what I think, because you got guys that are older or coming off injuries that are very crucial to this offense. Bobby Trees, got to figure out what's going on with Treylon. And then we got 2 positions of the offensive line that has to be filled out. And I'm talking about fast. And Derek coming back from his injury too. But that group up front, just how important, how strenuous does camp have to be to solidify that early? Because I don't know if the moving chairs situation is going to work out for this team throughout the year if they got to move Dillon or move Petit Frere or move any Jamarco in any other position, they got to solidify this, Glennon.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we've all heard, and Ramon, you certainly know more than most how much continuity means to the offensive line too, and a starting offensive line wants to get as many reps together as a group as possible going into the season. You want to build that chemistry, you want to know who you're playing with, and really nail that down as you go into the season. So, I think where the Titans are now, in my mind anyway, with those positions, I feel like they want to give the guys there a chance right now, a shot. Maybe a couple weeks in training camp, maybe a preseason game or so, and give them an idea of what they're bringing. Is Dalen Radens capable of being a starting right tackle right now? Is either Aaron Bruin or Jamarco Jones capable of being the team's starting left guard? And then if the answer is unlikely or no, then you have to act, as you say, quickly. Now, there are still some guys out there now on the free agent market, that might be able to fit a bill for the Titans. You look at a Darrell Williams, for instance, or an Eric Flowers, guys like that. And then I think generally, sometimes as you get closer to training camp or to the season, veterans tend to get lopped off a little bit from rosters too. If younger guys are outplaying them, or if teams need, cap room for one reason or another. So I think some guys will become available too. But yeah, you got to make those moves quick, I think, especially on that offensive line, because you really want to build continuity there.
So we had David Beauclair on a couple of days ago, and we had him on a couple of weeks ago as well. And Boki had done a piece over at SI alongside you with 5 bold predictions for this Titans season. Now, these weren't hot take predictions, which maybe he'll throw one of those pieces out there, but these were just things he could see happening. And the number one thing is something he had said on our show first, which was that he believes Roger McCreary is going to get more snaps at his position than Caleb Farley is. What do you think of that argument or that opinion right now?
I think it's a reasonable argument. I think it's a good opinion right now. And I base that not trying to throw shade on Caleb Farley, but facts are facts. This guy has played, 60 snaps over the past 2 years, because his final year in college, sat out because of COVID concerns. Last year, we know he had the ACL. And even before then, as David pointed out in his piece, it's not like he had years and years built up in college as a corner. He moved to cornerback in college, and played a couple seasons there. That's it. So in some ways, he was a pick that was made, more on raw potential, incredible speed, athleticism, size, than on experience at the cornerback position. Meanwhile, you got Roger McCreary, who's been playing the last 2 years versus the best receivers in college and handling himself pretty well. So, in terms of where they are right now, I think McCreary might be, a better fit in the starting lineup right now. Maybe that changes in training camp. But you got to remember, too, McCreary was the 35th overall pick in the draft.
Right.
It's not like he's some 5th or 6th round pick that we're kind of oddly projecting that high. You don't draft a guy 35th overall and think, okay, he's our safety corner, our reserve guy in case anything goes wrong. That you draft a guy at 35, you're going to be playing him a lot. And I think, as I say, right now, he seems to be in a better position than Caleb Farley simply because of recent experience.
Speaking of recent experience, man, we speak a whole lot about Big Geoff and what he means to this team and to that defense. But Big Geoff needs breaks also. He got to come off the field at some point. His supporting cast, man, and I almost feel disrespectful saying that, but they are in this sense, man. Larrell Murchison, you also got Naquan Jones and Tierra Tart, man. Like, what's the expectation for these guys now that they got a year or two under their belt? And Jeff's also gaining a whole lot of attention as far as, him being the guy that gets double teams. What are these guys expected to do this year, in your opinion?
Yeah, I kind of like some of the depth that the D-line that the Titans have added this offseason. It's a little bit sneaky. It's not big names, kind of under the radar guys. But, I do like some of these names. Some of them we saw play for the Titans last year a little bit. Guys like Kevin Strong, Deshaun Hand, and then you add DeMarcus Walker, who I think is going to be a good rotational player as well. And then, in addition to those guys, two of the best undrafted free agents at D-line are now on the Titans. Haskell Garrett from Ohio State had a really good year last year. And then Jaden Peavy from Texas A&M, the guy who's about 6'4", 6'5", got really long arms and was really strong against the run. So I think there's a pretty good mix behind, the top guys there on D-line that are capable of giving Big Geoff and some of the other guys a little rest from time to time. And, specifically, we talked about Naquan Jones and Tierre Tart. I really thought Naquan Jones, came on strong towards the end of the year there. I thought, you just look at the numbers, and clearly he was getting more playing time than Tierre Tart was. And he's a little bit bigger, certainly, than Tierre Tart as well. So I kind of like to see what he's going to bring, now that he's had 1 year under his belt. I think he can be a situational player, good rotation guy too. So, not a ton of big names besides Big Geoff, and if you include Danico on the D-line or the edge. But I think it's a pretty good, some pretty good depth there.
Just a different change of topic really quick at the end. I'd seen the word impasse, and we kind of knew that it was a little contentious for a time. Now you're starting to hear things that make you think Philip Forsberg might actually stick around in Nashville on an 8-year deal that maybe they're trying to work out. What do you think is going to happen there?
I got to stay consistent. I've been saying, since even back in the season that it was going to happen, that the Predators were going to re-sign Philip Forsberg. So now, I can't say it with as much certainty or confidence because, frankly, we're less than 2 weeks away from, free agency, and it hasn't happened yet. But I'll stick with that prediction. I think from all the reports that we're seeing and hearing, and to me, kind of the intent on both sides, both from David Poile and Philip Forsberg, to get something done. I think it's going to happen eventually. It may take right up until the deadline to occur, but and another thing, a former Predator, Kevin Fiala, was traded just a couple of days ago to the Los Angeles Kings, signed a big whopper contract, 7 years, almost $8 million a year, and that may be enough. I wonder, for David Poile to say, okay, if Kevin Fiala is worth almost $8 million over 7 years, Philip Forsberg is a better player, and I'm now willing to bump it maybe up even a little bit more than I was willing to offer Philip Forsberg in the first place, and maybe that's what it takes to get the deal done. But it's going to be tight. We'll see here.
Good stuff, John. Thanks, brother. Have a good weekend.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Indeed, that's John Glennon. Yeah, they also made another trade yesterday to Columbus that created a little bit more cap space.
Mm-hmm.
It does look increasingly like Forsberg's going to stick around.
Yeah.
They can give him an extra year past anybody else. If they give him $8 for $8 million a year,
wow,
then I think I'd seen dude from the Sportsnet, Elliot Friedman, saying that he believes they're going to get it done. 8-year number in the $8 million per year range. That's what he said on radio a couple of days ago. So we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, we had a couple of people in the chat that mentioned Forsberg. He's kind of named this franchise needs. I don't know what they are. Like Forsberg is the household name on this team right now, outside of Yossi, obviously.
Yeah,
but he's probably worth whatever, because of what he can mean just to people that love him and kids that idolize him and all of that kind of thing. Casey Alexander, the Belmont head basketball coach, will join us for a couple minutes to finish up the show. Today's the first day in the MVC for Belmont. What does that mean? There's just people shifting, people changing all over creation right now. So we'll do that on the other side. It's J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Is this Lupe? Second album. This was a great album.
I fell in love with Lupe with this one, man.
This album was the one that I discovered who he was. It kind of fell off pretty quick for me after that, though. Not because he didn't have talent, just because for whatever reason I just didn't stick with it.
Better strike when you're hot in music, man.
Second record was good. Then I think Lasers
came out late.
It was all right.
Zers, yup.
First day as members of the Missouri Valley Conference for Belmont University. That's 20 NCAA tourney wins in hoops, 2 Final Fours in the last 9 years. And we welcome in Belmont head basketball coach Casey Alexander to finish this up today. Casey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Casey. Congrats.
Good morning, man. I appreciate it. It's a good day for us.
So there are a few questions about it. Like, what does it mean in the whole to you? What does it mean to the university? What does the move entail on your side?
Yeah, it's a win all the way around. Obviously, from a university perspective, a much broader reach, cover much more territory in a lot of different markets than just the 3 or 4 hour radius that the OVC gave us. From an athletic department's perspective, it's a higher level of play across the board, much greater resources across the league, a better commitment. Mm-hmm. And then the same would hold true for men's basketball. The league has had a ton of success, long-standing success in men's basketball, and we're happy to be a part of that.
So for it being higher competition, a little bit more prestige, talked about in a different way, how has that affected recruiting, like in terms of talking to athletes, talking to their parents, and being able to use the MVC? Since news of the conference move, how's that helped out?
Yeah, I mean, the residuals from that are just now really coming in, but it's a league that, there's 32 conferences, I think, in Division I, and it's right there in that 10-11 range. So you talk about the Power 6 in basketball, and then it's right in that conversation with Mountain West, Atlantic 10, West Coast Conference, some really good leagues. And so that gets the attention of the young men that we're trying to recruit real quickly, and then the rest of it, we're just trying to sell Belmont.
And that's what I was going to ask you. As far as the players that you have currently on roster, what's been a reaction from those guys and the guys you currently recruit? Because, like you said, your net is a little bit wider now.
Yeah, for sure. And I would also just like to say, Ramon, first of all, just thank you for giving us one good day of work this week. We appreciate that.
I like it.
It's a learning curve for our players. They weren't nearly they're excited about it and they understand what we're walking into, but we actually took about an hour a week ago and put together a real long PowerPoint to say, hey, here's the league, here are the schools in the league, here's the arenas in the league, here's fan attendance, here's what they've done in the NCAA tournament, just trying to educate them and give them a clear vision for what it's going to take for us to have any level of success.
Yeah, no,
you got me right there, Casey.
I'm still laughing about that too.
You kind of broke me right there, Casey.
Actually, I thought it was a compliment because you said good day of work. I'm not sure I'm going quite that far. I mean, he definitely has shown up today.
Excuse me?
We're just glad he got it in right before the holiday.
Yeah, I appreciate him gracing us with his presence for 4 hours out of a 16-hour work week. Actually, that's wrong. It's a 20-hour work week. I can't even do math. I'm not going to Belmont. I can promise you that.
No, you are not.
So now that the Ohio Valley Conference is in the rear view, how do you look back, Casey, at Belmont's time there, their success, and just their involvement in the conference?
Yeah, tremendous partnership. There's not anybody affiliated with Belmont that wouldn't have the greatest of things to say for the Ohio Valley Conference, another league that's got a lot of tradition and proud membership and great leadership. Beth Bush and her team at the OVC office has treated Belmont great. It's been tremendous for us, a great 10 years for us in the league. And it's a bittersweet thing. When you leave people that you like and have a good relationship with, that makes it very difficult. But obviously we think this is a good move for us moving forward and our next best step.
That's what I was going to say. Was this like a hard decision to be made? Because we're seeing now, of course, UCLA and USC making a tough move. Like, does this put a strain, I guess, on traveling? Is it just one of those welcome opportunities to be like, okay, we're going to knock down this door too?
Well, it's a much greater commitment financially for us.
Yeah.
It's not even really in the same ballpark. And so, but Belmont is very well prepared for this step. Not to say that it will be easy, but we're not going to go limping into the league. We will go in, prepared and ready to, to do it a little bit differently than we have in the past. But you don't make moves like this if you don't have a belief that you can be just as successful or maybe reap the rewards that a league like this has. I mean, it's this conference is, I think, 14-2 in their last 16 first-round NCAA tournament games.
Wow.
That's remarkable. It's got 6 different schools that have been to the Sweet 16 in the last 25 years. I mean, that's schools, not teams. So there's proud tradition all the way up and down the lineup as far as membership institutions are concerned.
Well, I know you bleed Belmont, so you've seen the rise of this program from NAIA to where you find yourself today. Personally, what does it mean to have just been able to be a part of the university and just to see how it's grown through the last long stretch here? It's come a long way.
Yeah, you're right. Upon reflection of that, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. People lose sight because we've been so successful recently. We're only really 20 years into this. I mean, It was we were in a Division I conference for the first time in 2001-2002 season, and so you're talking 21 years basically, and 9 NCAA tournaments later and a lot of championships. We talked about the OVC. We were in the OVC for 10 seasons. We never finished worse than first or second. So we've had a lot of success, but as we like to think around here and say, the best is yet to come. We've got a lot of doors out there that we can still knock down, and we think the Missouri Valley is a good way to do so.
So watching college athletics right now is it's a good time to have this job, and at times it's also frustrating because you never know what you're going to walk into every day. Yesterday, USC, UCLA, just watching this as somebody that's involved in college athletics right now, How insane is this from your perspective, just watching how quickly everything seems to be changing?
Yeah, it's concerning to say the least. The almighty dollar is in control, and but honestly, coaches talk all the time, and people get tired of hearing it. When we all talk about controlling what we can control, really that's what's going on elsewhere. We have very little influence on. We just need to put our head down and worry about ourselves. Be proactive. Do what we can to put ourselves in position to, not to be reactionary to the things that are going on around us. But at the same time, let's just worry about what's right in front of us and make the most of what we've got. Between the NIL, the transfer portal, the conference changes, there are a lot of questions out there for all coaches, all administrators, across the country, and like I said, it's concerning, but we've got a great product, and I think in the end, we'll look back however long from now and realize, hey, we made it through this.
So one thing when you got your head down, you can actually have your head up a lot when you're watching Ben Shepherd because of what he's done for you. 16.2 points last season. He's a guy who, looking at his numbers, his three-point percentage has gone 5% up every season. His free throw percentage is now over 70. He's a guy that's really developed on both sides for you.
Yeah, a model of development, really. I mean, as a freshman, he comes in and he plays and he shows that he's going to be a good player, but wasn't relied upon to do anything really significant. As a sophomore, he starts every game and becomes our best defender and really had a good year. And then last year as a junior, he leads us in scoring and from start to finish and just had a tremendous season. So he was an all-conference player in the OVC. I would expect more of the same in the Missouri Valley. Obviously, he's going to bear much more of the burden. We lose some really good and impactful seniors. And so he'll have to take on some leadership roles that he hasn't had in the past and kind of be that go-to guy, which he hasn't been in the past. He's been able to play off of others a little bit, but he's a luxury for us, a tremendous kid, student. I mean, we're really lucky to have him.
Well, it's a big day for Belmont. It's a big day for you and your program and the university. We appreciate you making time. Congrats on it, and enjoy the 4th, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon.
Sounds great, guys. I really appreciate it.
Indeed. That's Casey Alexander. Love Casey, especially now.
Taking drive-bys.
I love that. I love that.
Nobody
That's how we end the show right there. That's an M80 to Ramon Foster's face from Belmont.
Put a firecracker between his toes soon.
My favorite Bruins, not the one going to the Big Ten, the one going to the Missouri Valley. Like that, don't you?
Savvy. It was cool enough.
Monday, you guys won't be here.
Yeah.
I'll be hosting with Geoff Schwartz for 3 hours. Then we'll have 2 hours of a best of. Then on Tuesday, it'll be Kayla Anderson and Jeff Jarrett in with me. And then Wednesday, Mona will be back.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming in for 4 hours, Moan. Did you have a meeting this morning? Is that why you decided to come into work?
Actually got to cut some stuff, but no.
Sure you did.
Right, you got to cut some stuff.
Yeah, Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, cut the cheese and cut the rope.
And remember, stay safe this weekend, but your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.
Great.
Twitter fingers. Can you believe it?